What if your shadow became solid and alive? It began on an ordinary Tuesday, the kind that slides by unnoticed, hidden in the middle of the week. I was walking home from work, half listening to a podcast, half watching the long sliver of my shadow stretch across the sidewalk under the setting sun. It was late autumn, and the light was sharp and low, casting everything in golden halos. That's when I noticed it. My shadow didn't move with me. I stopped. It didn't. It just stood there, still, as if something had gone wrong in the stitching between me and the world. I took a step back. The shadow didn't follow. Then, slowly, deliberately, it turned its head. The scream caught in my throat. It wasn't quite shaped like me anymore. Its outline shimmered, distorted, like someone trying on my skin but not getting the fit quite right. Its head tilted again, curious, and then it stepped forward, toward me. My legs finally remembered how to run. I didn't stop until I reached my apartment, panting, my brain scrambling to rationalize what I'd seen. Shadows don't move. Shadows don't act. I locked the door behind me, turned on every light, and collapsed onto the floor. I didn't sleep. The next day, I told myself I was imagining things. Maybe it was a trick of the light. Maybe I had been more exhausted than I realized. I kept the curtains closed. I avoided the windows. But by afternoon, I couldn't resist checking. Just a peek. I stepped into a beam of sunlight spilling through the blinds and looked down. No shadow. The room was lit just right. The floor showed the shadows of the furniture, the window frame, even a stray houseplant. But I wasn't casting one. It was gone. Panic set in. I wasn't hallucinating. Something had happened. I left the apartment to find help, or at least confirmation that I wasn't losing my mind. The streets buzzed with people, too busy with their phones and lives to notice me. I passed by reflective windows. Still no shadow. Not a trace. But then, across the street, in the glass of a closed shop, I saw it. My shadow was there, but it wasn't following me. It was watching, standing next to a streetlight, hands in its pockets like it had nothing better to do. Except it didn't have a face, just the void where one should be. That night, it came to me. I was lying in bed, eyes wide open when I heard the soft shuffle of feet. Not the clumsy tread of someone breaking in. No, this was softer, measured. I looked toward the foot of my bed. It stood there, tall, featureless, ink black against the dim light. "I don't belong to you anymore," it said. Its voice was like wind through dead leaves, dry, empty. What do you want?" I managed to say. "I want to see," it replied. "To live. To be." It stepped closer, and I backed into the headboard, trembling. But it didn't attack. It just stared, with that faceless stillness. "You took everything," it said. "Every movement, every step I followed, every choice I echoed, and now I want my turn." I tried to reason with it, to plead, but it was already fading into the dark corners of the room, blending into the night like it had never been there. Over the following days, I began seeing reports on the news, people disappearing, strange figures spotted around cities, shadows that didn't match their owners. It wasn't just me. Whatever had happened, it was spreading. My shadow came back the next week. "I've walked alone now," it whispered from the doorway. "I've touched things, made things. I've become." It stepped into the light and didn't vanish. It was real, not flesh and bone, but something else. A silhouette pulled into 3 dimensions. It looked at me with that blank face, then held out its hand. "Let me borrow your life," it said, "just for a day." I refused. Of course I did, but it didn't take no for an answer. The last thing I remember clearly is its hand touching my chest, cold and heavy like wet ash, and then everything tilted. I blinked, and I was outside, watching through glass, my own face staring back at me from inside, my own body moving, smiling. I pounded on the windows, screamed, but no one could hear me, because now I was the shadow, and it was alive. Hey bro, subscribe to the channel. There are a lot of interesting things here.